Rarely does it happen, but sometimes you watch something and it impacts you way more than you ever thought it would. And you go, wow. Hi, I recently watched Chernobyl, the HBO miniseries, and it is amazing. Hauntingly so. It's not just a TV series, it's a lot more. Of course, it's fictionalized, but it's akin to an emotional gut punch. It's that well made. Ever since I saw it, I've been wondering what is it about the series that makes it so moving and poignant. Yes, it's based on an actual tragedy, the dynamics of which were unprecedented and the scale incredibly vast. But it's not just that. The show isn't only about a nuclear disaster, but what makes for a disaster. The human elements which consequence into an eventual catastrophe. The career bureaucrats who are more focused and interested in their promotions than what's actually good or bad. The politicians who cater more to their egos and power instead of societal interests. The common folks who are not aware of the hazards or how to protect themselves during a calamity, or even how to gauge whether they are in one. And above all this, the notion of a nation's pride, which makes people susceptible to covering up truths in favor of glorified lies, spreading misinformation, irrespective of how much harm it actually causes and does. Sounds familiar? Think back to the tragedies which we have had in our own nation, and similarities will emerge. From administrative failures to lack of awareness, eventually all brushed under exploratory committees, the results of which never get the mileage of the event in itself. The Chernobyl series brings out the human costs of disaster and also the aftermaths of dealing with such disasters. For there's a significant human cost involved in the cleanup too. The heroes who most people don't regularly think much about, but whose contributions enabled an entire continent to survive. People who knowingly and willingly sacrificed their lives for the greater good, because it simply had to be done. The firemen, the hospital staff, the first responders, the miners, the scrapers. The series is just 5 hours long and I cannot recommend it enough. It is quite extraordinary. The writing, the acting, the direction, the cinematography, the background score, the set designs, they got the tone right. What's most impressive though is that although it's a tale from 1986, before most of us were even born, it is so pertinent to the present. Scientists not being listened to, politicians pulling power moves, suppression of criticism and facts, glorified nationalism, spread of misinformation. Rings a bell? It is said that those who do not learn from history are condemned to repeat it. But how do we know of history? Take for example, what do we really know of the Bhopal gas tragedy? More than 500,000 people were affected. Were the people really responsible brought to justice? I wish there were more series like this, which enhance not only the perspective of the viewer, but also the discourse as a whole. Watching Chernobyl, the miniseries, is an experience. It's engaging, it's terrifying, it's heart-wrenching, it's powerful, it's relevant. It is good art. Do yourself a favor and watch it. You can thank me later. Yes, certain creative liberties have been taken in the series while portraying the happenings, but wow, what an effort. And what tragic events at Chernobyl. This is to the memory of those who fought the Chernobyl disaster and to those who are still fighting. This has been the first recommendation of the Overwhelming Nature of Being series. Maybe I'll make it a weekly affair. Political stuff is coming soon. I'll see you later. Until then, do Papa Chenya.